Hello, welcome to ESP.NET Web Server Programming. Now, since we have done how to display table structure in MS Access SQL Server, and at the same time we have done reporting in MS Access a database using Data Reader as well as SQL Server database. In SQL Server database, we have done the query on bill number, bill date, and party name. So I shown you all the regarding commands, and now suppose the other topic what I'm going to take is the difference between a data reader and a data set. Now data set is also a way in which we can retrieve records. Now the only difference in between these two commands is that in data reader it reads one record at a time, and it moves in a forward direction. That is, you can't go back, it will always start from top to bottom. So that's the reason why we call it as a forward direction, and it reads one record at a time. Whereas data set reads all the records at a time, and it is used in multiple databases. So whenever you want to make a report or something by reading one record at a time, then we use data reader. And whenever you want to have multiple results, multiple table results, and all the records to be read at a time, then we'll be using data set. So displaying result in a grid view using SQL Server Data Reader. Now I've done in HTML. Now here I'm doing it in grid view. So this is a grid view. Now I double click on this, and the coding is the same as above. Now the only difference is we are storing it in a grid. So for storing it in a grid, we say grid view 1.data source is equal to RD, that is the data reader. So whatever execution is done, that is the SQL, that is the bill, and the connection, as I said previously. So this is the name of the computer, this is the name of the database, and this is the username, password. Then this will open according to the connection string, and this will retrieve the records from the bills table, and this command will execute the SQL from this database, and the SQL reader is defined as RD. The connection is open. Then after executing the reader, the data is stored in RD, and directly we can assign this RD to this data source. And in order to display the results in the grid view, we say data bind. So the record will be binded to this grid view, and as a result you will get the display in the grid box. And then we close the RD and the connection. Now let's execute and check in the result. So just click on run without debugging. Okay, so display result in grid view using SQL Server Data Reader. So as you can see here, so this is the same thing what we had done before, but that was in HTML format, and this we had done it in grid view. So in grid view you have just two statements to be remembered, that is grid view 1.data source is equal to RD, grid view 1.data bind. That's all. So let's move further with the other thing, that is displaying result in grid view using SQL Server Dataset. Now how to use dataset? Come to the designer mode, double click on this button, and now here we have, now it's the same thing, connection string remains the same. Then here I'm using another table just to differentiate between these two things. So select star from customers. Now we are, instead of SQL command, we have SQL data adapter, and the instance is created as DA is equal to new SQL data adapter SQL comma con. Now it is same as SQL command. The only thing is this is the keyword we are using, that is SQL data adapter, SQL data adapter. And then we have, instead of the reader, we have the data set. So data set DS is equal to new data set. So let me explain. Now SQL data adapter acts as a middleman between the connection between the database and the data set, that is between the database and the table, right? So after creating this data set, so we have to store whatever the middleman, that is whatever DA has done, that is it has connected to the connection, it has executed the table, and the result has to be stored in DS. So what we say, DA dot fill bracket DS. So whatever information is taken by DA will be filled up till DS. Now what is DS? DS is a data set, and then we just store the data source as DS and read view data bind. So this is the only difference. So in data set we have the data adapter first, and then we define the data set, and to fill the information into the data set we use DA pin, that is data adapter pin. Now let's execute the example. So this is the customer table, see. Yeah. So data reader reads one record at a time, and it always moves in the forward direction. Whereas data set, it stores the records, it stores all the records at a time, and also it is used in multiple tables. So this is the main difference between the data reader and the data set. So this is all for today. See you in the next session. Hope you have understood. If any doubts, you can come down to me. Okay, thanks a lot for listening to me.